Hey everybody, it is September 18th, 2015 as I'm filming this, and today Nintendo announced through Facebook that Star Fox Zero is being pushed to 2016. So the Wii U just lost its anchor game for the 2015 holiday season. We're still getting Xenoblade Chronicles X. I believe we're getting a Mario sports title, but those aren't Mario. Star Fox Zero was the anchor game for holiday season 2015 for Wii U, and mind you, Star Fox Zero was basically supposed to be taking up the slack for The Legend of Zelda for Wii U, which now realistically seems like it's going to be coming out like in possibly late 2016. I mean, I don't there's a lot of really cynical, sardonic things I could say, but I'm really just I'm mad, but I'm more like sorry for Nintendo. Like I mean, a lot of people worked on this really hard, and but it makes me feel. I've said this before. It just makes me feel like I know there's tons of stuff going on in the background and tons of X factors and things Nintendo couldn't have foreseen, but there are lots of things they could have foreseen. And the situation with Wii U for every great game, every worthwhile game that it has, the situation and its story as a whole, frankly, makes me feel like, oh my god, it wasn't even recording. Oh, never mind, it was. Never mind, I was just freaked out over nothing. Excuse that. I'll leave that in just for the heck of it. It makes it seem like Nintendo designed the system and didn't have the resources or a plan in place to develop games for it in a timely fashion that they need, especially when they put themselves in a situation where 30s want to make games for it. Um, and the really confusing thing about the well, first off, the Nintendo the tweet where they forwarded everyone on Twitter to the Facebook message sort of had this weird tone, like, "Oh, here's an important message from Mr. Miyamoto about Star Fox Zero." Like, "Oh, it's going to be great news. Everyone get it." Um, they didn't even. I don't even remember them doing that with announcing that Zelda for Wii U was delayed. Launch was dropped back to 2016 and wouldn't be at E3 2015. I don't even remember them having a tone like that on Twitter, as far as Nintendo themselves are concerned. But part of the message where Miyamoto announcing the delay says, and I have to find, okay, and I'm quoting here. Although we felt the development was progressing well, we now believe we will need a little more time to work on areas such as the unprecedented discovery that we want players to experience in the game by using two screens. What is that supposed to mean? Like, now in reading and uttering this out loud for the first time, it makes a tiny bit more sense to me because when it says, quote, the unprecedented discovery that we want players to experience in the game, what Miyamoto is saying, now I understand, is that he wants players to feel like they're experiencing something unprecedented. Now, you could also take that to mean that the development team made the discovery that they wanted players to experience the game using two screens. Now, that when I thought it was now just in the as I'm recording this, I understand what he means, and it seems like something was a bit mixed up in translation. He's where I was like, wait, the team discovered they wanted the. I mean, yeah, if you want. I mean, there've been some comments about how fluently the game played using both the television screen and gamepad, and if, there's that famous quote from Miyamoto himself: "A delayed game can eventually be good, but a flawed game is flawed forever." And it would suck if this game came out and it was just like 95% of the way and just needed a little tweaking that now can't be done because the game's out and it's gold. What I feel like, I mean, and another thing to consider is that I was actually just thinking about this like yesterday. In fact, if Star Fox Zero is not a major hit, it could possibly mean the end of Star Fox as a series. I mean, of course, Nintendo's never going to formally formally announce that a franchise is officially over. But if this game was a flop, can't see them investing in Star Fox for the next generation or two. And even so, the format of Star Fox as essentially sort of a rail shooter Not, and I mean, in saying that, it sounds like I'm being negative, but it's not. At its heart, it's kind of a rail shooter. And the last major super like blockbuster Star Fox game in terms of promoting the standings of a console as a whole was Star Fox 64, and that was at a time when arcade games were still fairly commonplace, or arcade style games. Uh, I'm not sure Star Fox 64 necessarily would be a blockbuster game in this environment. It's kind of as I mean, obviously there's a lot more going on in Star Fox here. It looks like they make a lot of improvements. It's not just Star Fox 64, but it's in a bit of a precarious position. It was being expected to carry Wii U as its flagship title for holiday 2015, and now it can't. And what gets me is that I feel like, yeah, it's good that they want to tweak the game and perfect it. But I feel like Nintendo, like Miyamoto's team especially, I mean, Miyamoto was directly involved with the development of Wii U. He's not involved with the development for NX, as we now know. But making a dual screen experience using the TV and the gamepad, I mean, even if Wii U was to have a 7 or 8 year lifespan, like Nintendo surely originally planned, they should be making dual screen games. That should be second nature to them by now. This shouldn't be an issue where they still. Uh, I'm just really frustrated. I feel like, I mean, just the fact that going into E3 2014, Nintendo made a point to say this year we're going to show the value of using, of having dual screen gameplay with the TV and the gamepad. And I'm like, that should have been what the Wii U was about from the beginning. And instead, you're in your 33, and to a certain extent, you're still trying to validate the concept of the console itself. And to be honest, I wasn't going to buy Star Fox Zero this year. I still don't have an HD TV, and buying I don't really have time for console games with at this point in my life anymore. Hopefully, I can get an HD TV by the time NX comes out. But even with NX, I want them to do good with NX. I expect, but I can't say what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to do something nobody's thought of or nobody can think of right now for this system to be viable. I have faith in their ability to do that, but what I've seen throughout the Wii U generation, for all the good things they've done, I've also seen things that make me question whether or not they're capable of learning from their mistakes. So I'm excited for more news and see how this turns out. I'm hoping for the best. So that's enough for now, and thank you very much for watching.